destined by fate and the surprising love story of King Frederik and Queen Mary of Denmark. Welcome to BNews. In the world of royalty, where every move is choreographed, every step watched, and every marriage historically forged out of duty more than love, there comes a story so unpredictable, so beautifully human, that it feels almost scripted by fate. That story belongs to King Frederik and Queen Mary of Denmark. A tale that began not in a palace or through royal arrangement, but in the heart of Sydney, Australia, among strangers, laughter, and the serendipity of a chance meeting. This is not just a romance, it is a story that defied distance, lineage, culture, and expectation. A love story that was never supposed to happen, but did. And in doing so, it forever reshaped the Danish monarchy. In the year 2000, the world had gathered in Sydney for the Summer Olympics. Athletes competed, nations cheered, and festivities raged in every corner of the city. But among the revelers at a bustling pub known as the Slip-In, something far more remarkable occurred. Mary Donaldson, a sharp, independent, and down-to-earth Australian marketing executive, walked into that bar with friends, unaware that her life was about to change forever. At the same time, Frederik, Crown Prince of Denmark, was there enjoying the games, incognito in baseball cap and casual attire, just a man far from home, trying to escape the weight of his title. They met, they talked, and what began as small talk over drinks blossomed into something unforgettable. There was no press, no ceremony, no obligations, just a genuine, unscripted connection. Frederik didn't introduce himself as royalty, Mary had no idea who he was. That night was pure and unfiltered. But soon after, as Frederik revealed his true identity and the reality of his royal world, Mary faced a crossroads. Their attraction was undeniable, but could love truly survive in the corridors of castles, tradition, and centuries of scrutiny? Frederik, unlike many royals before him, did not hesitate. He was smitten, not just with her beauty, but with her intelligence, her confidence, and her ability to treat him like a man, not a monarch. As their relationship developed, the odds stacked against them became clear. Long-distance courtship, cultural differences, and the harsh glare of European tabloid media began to take their toll. Mary, born in Tasmania and raised in the Australian ethos of modesty and egalitarianism, was suddenly being scrutinized as a potential future queen. Her fashion, her background, even her family's history were dissected by royal experts and journalists alike. But rather than retreat or falter, Mary did what would eventually become her trademark: she adapted with grace. She studied Danish, immersed herself in royal protocols, and approached the challenges not as obstacles, but as responsibilities she willingly chose. Frederik, too, faced immense pressure. The Danish royal court, while publicly supportive, carried internal concerns. Was this commoner from a faraway land really suited to Denmark's future queen? Could she integrate into a centuries-old monarchy and uphold its traditions with the dignity and grace required? But Frederik was resolute. This was not a whimsical fling or an act of rebellion against protocol, this was the woman he loved. And in loving her, he was not abandoning tradition but honoring a new era, one in which heart and duty could coexist. In 2003, their engagement was officially announced. The Danish public, initially skeptical, slowly warmed to Mary. Her sincerity was palpable. She wasn't trying to be royal, she was striving to be respectful of the position she was stepping into. With every public appearance, Mary earned admiration not for trying to fit a mold, but for subtly reshaping it. By the time their wedding arrived in 2004, it was not just a royal ceremony, it was a national celebration. Denmark embraced her not just as Frederik's bride, but as their future queen. And in that grand Copenhagen cathedral, as the couple exchanged vows, they also made a quiet promise to the world, that theirs would be a partnership of love, not performance. The early years of their marriage were filled with the challenges of any newlywed couple, compounded, of course, by the relentless obligations of royal life. Mary's transition from private citizen to public figure was swift and all-consuming. But with Frederik by her side, she found her footing. She learned not just the language of Denmark, but its soul. Her speeches evolved from carefully practiced scripts to powerful declarations of purpose. Whether advocating for mental health, championing women's rights, or supporting children's charities, Mary began to define her own role. More than a consort, she became a force. Behind closed doors, however, the couple faced the same ups and downs as any marriage. Rumors occasionally surfaced, questions about Frederik's social life, speculations about tension between the two. Yet, each time the press whispered, the couple stood firm. They never fed the drama. Instead, they let their actions speak. They continued attending events hand in hand, exchanging glances of shared understanding, and focusing on what mattered most, their family. The births of their children, Christian, Isabella, Vincent, and Josephine, cemented their bond further. Parenthood grounded them. It was in the quiet moments, school pickups, bedtime routines, family holidays, that Frederik and Mary found refuge from royal pressures. They were not just a king and queen in waiting, they were parents, partners, and best friends. And in the eyes of their children, they found constant reminders of the love that began so unexpectedly years before. Throughout their journey, fate seemed to nudge them forward. Every challenge became an opportunity for deeper connection. Mary's Australian roots didn't alienate her, they became a bridge between Denmark and the wider world. Her outsider status brought fresh perspective to a monarchy sometimes trapped in tradition. Frederik's openness to change, his willingness to lead not by rigid example but by emotional intelligence, earned him respect not just as a royal, but as a man. Their ascension to the throne in 2024 marked the start of a new chapter. Queen Margrethe II's abdication was historic, but it also passed the crown onto a couple ready for modern leadership. King Frederik and Queen Mary were no longer simply the sweethearts from a Sydney pub, they were sovereigns of a kingdom, chosen not just by birthright but beloved by their people. Their coronation wasn't just a spectacle, it was a celebration of love fulfilled, of fate honored, of partnership enduring. Theirs is a story that continues to evolve. In every appearance, in every initiative, they demonstrate that love isn't just about grand gestures, it's about consistency, kindness, and shared purpose. Whether navigating political landscapes, supporting each other's causes, or parenting through the public eye, they do it with unity. And that unity, forged by destiny and strengthened by choice, remains unshakable. Today, King Frederik and Queen Mary stand as symbols of a new kind of royalty, one where love leads, where empathy governs, and where the throne isn't a pedestal, but a platform for meaningful change. Theirs is a love story that reminds us that even in the most rigid systems, the heart can still surprise us. Fate may have introduced them, but it was their courage, humility, and commitment that brought them this far. So, as we watch this remarkable couple continue to lead with love, we're left to wonder, in a world where so much is orchestrated and predictable, is it still possible for fate to write the most surprising and beautiful love stories of all?